If, like me, you're not a fan of Joe Biden, you are looking forward to the midterm elections in the United States. First Tuesday in November. In Australia, of course, that's the world-famous Melbourne Cup. In the United States, that's the chance to put a handbrake on the idiocy of the Democrats having full control of the presidency and both houses in Congress. But while you may well know many of the players, do you know the actual game? Now, you may have been bluffing at barbecues, you may have been BSing at dinners. Well, now I'm going to tell you exactly what is at stake and exactly how this works. Now, firstly, the elections are for two houses of parliament. However, it's only for about a third of the Senate, but all of the House. So let's deal with the House first, because this is where the Republicans are most likely to get a win, and that means a handbrake on bad laws making their way around for the next couple of years and putting a pause on things until the 2024 election. So there are 435 voting members in the House. You need 218 for a majority. There are places like Washington, D.C. that's allowed to send a congressman, but they don't get voting rights. So let's just keep it nice and simple. You need 218 to get a majority, and therefore Nancy Pelosi is or isn't Speaker of the House. In the current House, the Democrats have a majority of 2. They are only just there. Despite a big win a couple of years into the Trump presidency, it's slowly been eaten away by the results in 2020 and, again, a few by-elections that have happened since. Republicans, they are on 212, so they need just 6 more seats and they end up as the majority. So let's have a look at some predictions here. This is 538. Now, 538 absolutely got 2016 wrong, but data-wise, they were kind of pretty good on 2020. They believe that there is a 69% chance that the Republicans will get a majority, 31% for Democrats. But what's really interesting is just how big a majority will they end up getting. Remember, 218 seats is how many you need to get the majority. They say there's going to be 209 likely wins. They should get up in at least 11 tight races. So that, of course, puts them, well, over the line to be able to get a majority. That's why they suggest that almost 70-30, it's running the Republicans' way. For the Democrats, well, likely to get 208 seats. They're leading in 2 tight races, but that, of course, is nowhere near the 218 needed for a majority. So good news! There will be no ability for the Democrats to have total control of the American political system if that happens. However, if you would like to stop some of the people that are nominated for, say, a Supreme Court judge place, well, you need to have numbers in the Senate. And that picture is looking very different. Put simply, the way that the Senate works is 100 members. You need 50 plus 1 to get a majority. The way it works currently is the Democrats have 50, Republicans have 50, and the Vice President, who is a Democrat in this case, always votes with their side, which means they technically get 51. So what's going to happen? Well, according to 538, they say Democrats should be able to at least hold onto a 50-50 situation, which, remember, 50-50 plus 1 means they get what they want. Why is this going to be the case? Because only about a third of the seats are actually up for grabs. The majority of those are Republicans. A Senate term is for 6 years, so we're going all the way back to the 2016 election. So people who were elected in 2016, who served all of Trump's 4 years, plus 2 years are the ones that are up for re-election, which is why it's more Republicans than Democrats. Now, the expectation is, despite the fact that there's 35 different races, there's only 2 that might change hands. The Republicans could win Nevada, and the Democrats could win Pennsylvania. If that happens, there's no change. If Republicans win both, then of course there's a big change. But the chances of that, pretty low. If the Democrats are able to win both, and that's always statistically possible, then of course they end up further in charge. But put simply, at this stage, there'll be a change in the lower house, there'll be no change in the Senate, and sadly, Biden stays president for at least 2 more years.